So I'm gonna go over a second tutorial about the render layers in relation to the render sequence. So when you render out your animation. Okay, so I want to talk about what things not to do, so to avoid catastrophic failure, basically. Yeah. So I'm gonna start again, and I'm also gonna show what to do if it still happens, right, for whatever reason, and what to do to get a clean start for your render layers, and how to salvage the situation. All right, so here we are. I got here in this panel, shot 1, master layer, but I think I'm gonna pull up my camera sequencer, so that should be under Windows, rendering, yeah, animation editors, camera sequencer. So we got that. I'm gonna plop that down here. Okay, so I put that down there, and nothing crazy, right? I'm dragging this little alternate little universe timeline. This timeline is different from this one, right? We should know this by now, right? And so from here, so boom, boom, then it's not updating. Anyway, I gotta scrub like this, right? Wait a minute. Okay, so 1 second. Here we are. I'm gonna play it for this timeline. Why is it not? Why is it not showing? Alright, so I have to manually scrub it, right? As you can see. But yeah, so this thing, okay, now it's showing. Jeez, whatever. So from here, right, up to frame 21, right, 1 to 21, right, and then this here, do you see this 15? This means that for this shot camera 2, right, shot 2, it's a different camera, right, shot 2, it starts at frame 15. That's what this means. And it ends at frame 38. So there's a bit of overlap, and it's fine to leave it next to each other. Shot 1, it ends at frame 21, right? Because I want to show it like this, and I want to show the arcing down, right? Shot 1, see the color. By the way, if you want to see this like this, right, you select your camera, right, and you want to see it like this. And then you go to attribute editor, and then film back, right? Third one, set to vertical. Originally it's set to horizontal, which doesn't help much. You set it to vertical, okay? Then for the coloring, just in case, right, there you go, display options, display resolution, display film gate mask, set it to 100, and you can change the color. That's your display options for this. Just to review. I talked about it before, but I'm being nice, I'm showing it again. Alright, so then you got this shot, right? Shot 2, right? Shot 2. And I'm gonna scrub it. Okay. So I want to show from frame 15 going down, boom, 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 boom. Right. So I'm just recycling some of the movement so you can see it on a different camera. This 22, right? It means that this little container of the camera sequence, the movement of the camera positioning, and the amount of frames and the frame position. This 22 basically means this 22 down here. I've talked about this before. I have to talk about this because this has a relation to the render layers, that's why. And it ends at 45. The camera in the real world is from frame 15 to 38. But in this little area, in this camera sequencer, in this little alternate timeline, this container is positioned between frame 22 and 45. So this is what these two pairs of numbers mean, right? We have to understand that. And 39, right, 38, 39, boom, boom, and there it ends. At least for this little exercise. So when you do your alphabet and you have different shot stage, and remember, I want minimum at least 2 shots to make use of the camera sequencer and to make use of render layers at least. So from here, so that's 6 minutes. Now, so with that review on the side, right, what we're going to do is I need to see my render settings, right here, render settings. There's my render settings, right? I'm going to just put it here for now. Then I also need my render layers, which is this guy. See that clapper? My render layers. I'm going to put that over here for now. Okay. So first things first, I need to start making my little render layers. So basically you can think of it as an alternate little world where it will render out alternate little worlds with the cameras, right? I'm going to click this. Render setup layer 1. I'm going to name this capital R setup or render layer underscore 1. Don't change it anything crazy, right? Just stick to what I'm doing, right? Don't try to do whatever you want to do. But the moment you try to do whatever you want to do, things will blow up. So what I just did right now, this here basically tells us that even though I have this highlighted, this don't mean anything, right? This eyeball tells us that this is what we're seeing and this is what we're gonna render. This is your default. See? This is the alternate little render world I'm gonna set up. And I wanna show it here. I'm gonna turn this on. As you can see, there's nothing because we need to make a collection to dump everything in here. The collection is what I believe messed up a lot of students because they did things that they were not supposed to do that I mentioned in the previous video, right? They just dumped everything in here. That and possibly maybe some of the naming too of the cameras. Anyway, so I click this, right? That tells us that there's nothing in this little world, in this alternate world. There's nothing in here. That's why you see there's nothing. And when I click this, this tells us that this is going to be renderable. But you can see here, this is also checked on. This tells us that when you do your render sequence, it's going to try to render your default scene as well and waste time. Uncheck it. So that is not renderable, right? So let's set up this little alternate world to render this alternate world out. Here, first thing is file name prefix, which is like this one, right? This is what file name, okay, this is going to be named, but I don't want that, okay? I delete everything. I'm going to right click, okay, and then Oh, right click, insert scene name. Okay, I'm gonna do underscore space or underscore the symbols, 2 underscores, just so I can see better. Then I'm gonna do underscore render layer, because this is the render layer. We want to see that. And underscore camera, because we need to know the scene, render layer, and the camera, because there's more than one camera. I'm gonna hit enter and watch this change. See? This is the file name. This is the render layer 1. Render layer 1. Camera. Right now it's just set to the default name camera, because we haven't set the camera yet. See this? So we got that first part down. Then what I need to do, first make sure you have TIFF 16 int, use view transform. This is very important too. Name.number.extension. Next is this, start frame. I'm gonna do, and watch this here, okay? Right click, create absolute override. Start frame 1. End frame, right click, create absolute override. End frame 67. But 67 is not what I want, right? Because for this specific stuff, damn it, this shot 1, right, is from 1 to 21.